and everything in between. I will not be asking any questions about the ethics and philosophy. I'm going to leave that for your BSN. So, but that did get into a lot. But did you have to take a I probably not, unless you were in another school. Did anybody take any ethical classes or philosophy? Yeah, it's great. I love it, but we don't have all the time to go through all of that. I took a fabulous feminine ethics class during my BSN. It's just very enlightening to see how things have changed over the years. Anyway, this is going through the process of trying to deal with an ethical situation at work, and believe me, you will find them. And you may not agree with them, but you still have an obligation to and responsibility to follow the standards of care. Does that make sense? Okay. These are the other issues that come up. We will have a massive nursing shortage. They were just plain. So you're in a good situation right now because we will not have enough people for the silver tsunami, is what they're calling it. And that is all the baby boomers that started to get 65 started in 2011. Okay? There is not enough doctors, there's not enough nurses, there's not enough.
So we should be able to find a job.
Oh, absolutely. I just, my two new grads just got in an ER, which I wouldn't have done as a new nurse, but hopefully they'll train them to the point where they feel comfortable. Because you don't feel comfortable as a new nurse anyway. That high acuity, anything walks through the door and you're going, oh. I mean, I've had somebody bring somebody dead in, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, oh, you know. I've had, you know, so it's like whatever you're into when you get through this program. So this is definitely like a lot of our elders that are in skilled facilities. Yeah. Okay. Quality of life is a individual statement, and as far as I know, there's only one state that allows physician assisted. Yeah.
I think Oregon it's a law physician assisted suicide, but two or three, I think Washington and Maine, they are some kind of.
It's a version of this one, but
yeah.
the Oregon is the most, and it just had all that recent PR, you know, and then we're crossing those lines of what kind of a DNR it is. In fact, I should share that stuff here. All right, so, read the question, see what you think. Raise your hand, please. Everybody that keeps raising their hand and asking questions are wonderful. Let's give somebody else a chance. Or should I call it off? You can do that. That's your time. How about looking at the ground? What do you think? All right, there she goes. We have a voice. All right, my love.
Ethics of care.
What do you think that's right? What is ethics of care? Exactly. Just taking care of somebody,
Well,
not knowing if they can pay for it.
well, I mean, at what point do you say, oh, I'm not gonna help you die?
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about that. Should we actually help people get lung and heart transplants because of smoke? What was somebody else saying? What do you think?
Justice.
Why?
Because you shouldn't be judging whether a person is suitable to receive a transplant on whether they have money, therefore good. You can't put value on life.
Okay, here's another one. Nurses agree to be advocates for their clients, right? The practice of advocacy calls for a nurse to do the following. You already know?
So you just see,
Oh,
See, yeah. I know.
you're kind of, you're advocating for the patient, their care, you're taking their point of view. And
what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Is it unanimous? Somebody else think something different? Are you right? Yay! So now, read the question carefully. Before you answer the question, sir, tell me what words in that question made you guess what you're guessing.
A professional nursing practice
Okay. Anything else?
and medical.
Yeah. Anything else?
Can be CMD?
What's that?
Can be two, CMD, or just
No,
one?
no, I just wanted to know which words.
Oh,
Yeah. But what is very
Medical setting?
clinical setting.
clinical setting. It changes the world. Good Sam laws are out and about. You do something reasonable, they'll still might be able to figure out how to sue you. But anyway, you're trying to deliver the best care or the, things that would be expected from a nurse, on the outside. Standards of care from experts in the practice, or Nursing Practice Act written by your state legislators, or
D.
Code of Ethics for the American Nurses Association.
I am not so sure.
Somebody said what?
Code of ethics?
D.
You want B?
No.
You want B?
No.
What do you want?
I got C or D, I undecided because I can rest in it. So Nurse Practice Act is written
This
for
is your
that.
answer.
Yeah, see?
Legally.
Because it's that state I am.
I'm trying to find this
so
slide.
I have to.
So you see how
The answer
how
is
the
this.
question-
I don't know.
The other one is for the lady.
What's the scenario? If it had been outside of the clinical setting, maybe you could have gone with Good Samaritan laws. Okay?
I'm recording.
Because every state has
Their own.
nurses practice acts for that state. If you go to Texas, it's going to be different than the ones here. Okay? So that should dictate of, in your clinic, remember how I said something about it yesterday? Was it the day before? You have standards of care as the nurse, and then be broken down into your clinical specialty, then to your unit, standards of care. So, but ultimately, this is what gives us permission to do what we're doing. And when you don't look at those,
That's not.
That's why I recommend that you look on the California BRN site.
not in there.
Where you can see, what can I do as an LPN? What can I do as an RN? Because you're licensed. It's different.
Question's not in there though.
It's not the right answer. C is the right answer.
Is there another
The
one?
right answer,
Oh,
because that's
is there another
how
part too?
you
That's
know
it. Because next is
how
going to take me
to
to that form you
practice
said.
and tell you what legally you can do.
So I have a question. So if there wasn't a clinical setting, so it would be the NCE, just the general, right?
Well, the code of ethics for American nurses like national.
All American nurse.
Yeah, it's much more global, it's true to word, but what you really want to be looking here as professional nursing practice in your clinical setting. And so you have your Nurse Practice Act is telling you what you can do and not do. You have standards of practice within the unit, all right? Like there's some nurses that can go ahead and insert central line. You know, some don't have that. Or a nurse practitioner can do a whole lot more than a staff nurse. Does that make sense?
Do these NPAs contain ethical principle guidelines? Because when I read
Ribbon, I don't think I've got anything.
so like the answer is yes. Because when I read this question, I find as the first determining what I'm doing is the ethical principle.
But don't forget, you might have a code of ethics that says, no, I do not believe in abortion, but the Pope just said it's okay to get blessed by a bishop, okay, or somebody else. But that may, you still gotta do what you gotta do. This tells you legally what you can do.
Please go ahead. This question, then the answer will be. No.
If you just had professional nursing practice in the sentence, then it would be, well, it would be either or, C or D, but I would probably think more of, it would be more D. Does that make sense? Or are you more confused?
All confused. I mean,
That's the thing, you got to look at the question. I mean, and read it very, these are hard questions, by the way. I probably wouldn't do something like that in a question, but I usually throw these really kind of wow, make you think, okay? I like things cut and dry in the first semester. And don't think you're not going to get ethical questions in 105, okay? And in 106, and 107.
And NCLEX, right?
Yeah, and NCLEX is global. In fact, I wanted to do a presentation talk about how NCLEX is implementing these things. So, let's stand up and show. And I'm going to do my legal stuff. Because you're writing legally in my schedule. All right, I'll post this one and lock this one.
Professor, can you post these in PowerPoint? Because with the PDF, sometimes the printer doesn't get it right.
Well, the only thing is the PDF is the international language. And I try to make it as small and as compact as it can be. You can still end up with even, like 12 pages. But then, letting me know this, I was always told to do it in PDF. So it doesn't open up or what?
No, it opens, but to print it out, it's
Complicated.
It's harder.
So it's not, yeah, because
I have the same
Is
problem.
it because it doesn't recognize, see, a lot of people have different modalities, like, Apple, and, so they have a different, but I was told, whether you had Word 2003 or 7, and now we're in 10, that if you put it in PDF, it can be read easier and covers more of the different Microsoft programs.
But you can convert. I think you
can convert it.
You have to video and that. Something
I'll talk to my guru.
you can import into the office.
So next I want to just cover a little bit of objectives. Because I want you to know, what do you need to learn, or what's important?
Is this on the calendar?
It's under your module, but it's condensed. Yeah, it's less. Okay. The reason being is I'm not gonna make you crazy, like do 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through. 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. So I'm gonna go through 4 pages of it. what parts of it? Because we haven't started everything.
Professor,
View.
Pardon me?
Go under view.
No, I don't want.
You're under
Oh,
page
there it
layout
is.
view. And then full screen reading.
Thank you.
Professor, will we still be able to study effectively using the slides and the modules? Because we don't have all the slides in our modules that you're showing.
She's first.
I'll have to look at that. I'll take that on. What I did was, in the essence of time, I went through a lot of things last semester. And there's some things in there that I'll have to check that. I looked at the first two modules, and there was an ethic.
I think we have this one.
What's the title to this one? Because there's objective.
What's this one posted? You think I'm driving me crazy by looking at this? I'm just trying to show you how global legal is. But when I wrote as an objective, that's just a small amount of them, those are what I'm going to focus on.
Should I answer my question?
So,
Will you be posting this class on?
now that we're looking at legal,
I don't want the abbreviated version.
realize that when you're
I don't. I want all of it so I can study it.
it's important in your chapter. Okay? How do you figure out what's negligence and what's malpractice? That'll be further on the slides. Another important factor would be number 9, which is the nurse's role for informed consent. Invasion of privacy, HIPAA, and decision tree. And very important, advance directives, what is your goal? What do you do for people when you're taking care of patients? Okay? So, what I want to show you is, I don't know if there's, no, I just need you to understand those conceptual ideas. So this is something you may see in your charts, and it's bright pink in some places, but it's the
Here it is.
physician's order for life-sustaining treatments. We are trying to move into a consistent form all the way across the board for all adults and children. And if you see this in your chart, you want to read it. What is this patient's intention? You know, what do they want? You see, this is where it talks about, somebody asked me, what's DNR? And this one says, attempt rescue CPR, do not accept, attempt CPR, allow natural death. In my hospital, we call that AND. So you might hear some different lingo, but it's very interesting to see how spelled out this is. And most people in an advanced directive, which gives people the, it tells who's going to help them, take care of them, what if something emergency happens, who's going to make the decisions if they can't make those decisions themselves. And now, because of the law, I have the slides coming up, the law now dictates as you're being admitted into a hospital, you have an advanced directive. And you're going to see patients in our care that did not have an advanced directive. Everything was done, but they ended up having respiratory failure and will be vented with a ventilator and unable to communicate for the rest of their life. So part of the legal lecture is to heighten your awareness about how important it is for you guys to have your advanced directives done. In fact, I got points in my master's program if I had an advanced directive. So I actually have one of these, but I've seen them all sorts of colors. And then I have several, here's a copy of the Code of Ethics. I don't think I have enough for anybody, but I just want to send them around and, you know, they're food for thought because these are the real, this is the real thing. I mean, and why we're doing this and moving towards this is people panic. They may be having maybe only palliative care. We can't make it go away. They're going to die from X, Y, or Z. They make these decisions, this, and this, and if that's not with them, or something happens, they call the EMTs, emergency, 911, and they end up not following the patient's wishes or the parents.
Yeah, 3 life and the lady was one
No. Oh, I think so. It looks like it.
the children.
Yeah, that looks like it.
She had 3 children.
We'll get one.
They didn't agree not to do legal mother. Didn't allow or
You should have everything organized, because I'm telling you. Okay, I have my advanced directive, so it's coming around here somewhere. It's very important. So when we talk about, I know this is very small, but I like the way this is just so concise that, maybe I will upload it, but I usually, most everybody freaks out when they see all these objectives. But I like the way it's set up. So when you think about statutory law, it's a Nurse Practice Act. Regulatory or administrative law comes from our state board. And common law, decisions made prior to whatever you're doing would be something like leaving the hospital, MIA, missing in action, refusing the treatment, informed consent, where they really informed consent. I'm going to give you the recipe for that. And then we go down to statutory laws. These are the laws that nurses could do. Criminals diverting drugs. And that, don't think that doesn't happen. I actually had, on some of the clinical sites, the nurse is here, the nurse is gone. I'm like, what happened to so-and-so? They won't tell you that there's so-and-so. Rumble. And they were taking the patient's drugs administered. So, Demerol.
And we.
Civil law is caused by harm, okay? And then we're going to get into malpractice here in a second. But so look at your Nurse Practice Act. It defines your scope of practice. It tells you when you can go and not go beyond this, and tells it delineates very clearly between an RN and an LPN. Okay. It's a licensed practical nurse. It's like typically go to different places, but they're not an RN, registered RN. State boards, again, very interesting that they are. We just went through our VR accreditation, so that's why our curriculum is being adjusted. So,
yeah.
These are court laws, intentional. Hopefully we're not going to be doing any of those, but assaulting, you touch patients without permission, or you become rough with them, then you can be charged with assault, batteries, or another.
Yeah, physician's order.
Nothing comes up.
Yeah, that's
That's again a physical threatening. I'm going to give you a shot. It could be called battery. False imprisonment. Did you ever think that restraints would fall into that category? No. So that's why, you need to be looking at what is important. So I'll upload this, but I like the way I looked at it last night, and I went, wow, this is like good. Let's get to the detail stuff. Alright, so I do have that form. And the art delegation.
Do the care plan. Care plan.
Yeah. I'm gonna do all my stuff when I get home.
Yeah. What are you gonna do yours on? What are you gonna do yours on?
Do you know?
I was thinking like I had severe kidney infection before, like bronchitis. I just okay again. I wonder why it's just like a funny year. I know. Like I don't know. But I had sick 3 times. Like mentals too. But
Do you always kind of delineate
maybe I could do my
Okay. I'll Google some stuff. I'm a self-learner, so when I'm in class, I'm not really learning. I don't learn until I get home and do my homework.
But if you smoke too?
My grandmother used to smoke, and I always knew that like when I grew up, I never wanted to smoke.
So you are responsible.
I don't want to go back to smoking. Everybody I know smokes.
You are responsible to be done.
Koreans that smoke.
Are you responsible?
I say that I know one Korean.
They're the main ones that smoke the most.
But to get
What
it
an
done.
Asian.
And are you responsible to delegate it to the right person or not?
Oh, yeah, or, you know what? You have more to lose.
Shoot, go.
So you choose to
Oh,
do
this? I don't know if I have.
Well, you just have to be careful and
Let me take a picture.
know.
They were like cute. I don't know,
We're all like held together, so
What are you talking about?
we're all like held together. I'm not the only one. And then I was just like, some of the stuff was really like, I was just like fun. But as you read, it still was more fun to me.
I'm gonna
What's that?
something that's been passed around.
And I try to trick my brain. You know, the mind is the most powerful thing you have.
Really?
So if you know, put it in your subconscious that
You know what? I did also pep talk yesterday. And I was like, I literally had to do that. I was like, because I was,
Yeah,
I
good.
was really feeling like I'm not anymore. You know? And then I was like, you know what you're doing this for. You can't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up.
exactly.
And I tried to read like really happy, but then I started crying. Because I was just like, try to be interested, like, oh, well, this is the law saying this. And then afterwards, I was like, I was just tired.
Oh, yeah, me too. I fell asleep and then I woke up at like 2 a.m. and finished. Oh, thank you. I woke up at like 2 a.m. in your bed.
You are a journal freak, huh? That's good though. I am too, to an extent.
Oh, yeah.
You gonna study this weekend?
Oh, shit.
Where? In the valley?
I'm not in the valley that much. I should move there.
You're working too.
No, when you open it up, it'll say like, if you read the first part, it'll say like, you're allowed to go back and forth. If it says that, then you can click in it and read what's going on before you click it. But if it doesn't say that, then you don't read
Do you think people will quit? Before the 2 years are up?
I don't know what to take now. I can't actually. There's too much for me. I'm not used to it.
And nothing really do yet. Monday.
That really, I'm not good at. I can't read fast. And it's like for me to keep up. It's like when I read, I can't retain it. I can't.
Okay. This is what you have to tell yourself. I am going to get better at reading and retaining. And you gotta look in the mirror and say it. This is scientifically proven to help. Look in the mirror and say, every day, I'm improving my reading and retaining.
At least it's a future
man. or abilities. And then, like, if you say that in the mirror every day, it's scientifically proven that once you start believing, like, you tricked your brain to be like, oh shit, I'm reading and retaining, you'll actually be able to read and retain. You ever heard the term fake it before you make it?
Yeah, I've heard
Fake it
of
before you make it. Like, it's so true. Like, if you fake it, like, I'm reading and retaining, I'm reading and retaining, eventually, like, it becomes, yeah.
I will do that.
Yeah, just try to, like,
It wouldn't hurt.
all of your negatives, all of your negatives, just flip them. So positive. Even if you feel like you're lying, just say it anyway. And then eventually, it'll feel like, you're telling the truth.
Thank you.
Yeah, you gotta try it.
Thank you.
No problem.
So let's go on.
You're so positive. I love that. You need that.
Tell them.
Sometimes you need that. Yeah. You need that reinforcement. A lot of us are almost at that point, you know, like, yes,
Loss, quality of care, respecting the person. I'm going over some of the stuff you know, I just want to make sure you get this. Quality of life, we talked about that already, autonomy, and that's connected to the advanced directive. People need to choose what they want. Is there enough light here?
It's kind of dark, but we can see it.
And then not inflicting harm. If you have to do something that's difficult.
How can you not inflict harm at this time?
The best, again, is what? Beneficence. Right, this is individual. Justice to others fairly.
Yeah.
Keeping your promise. So if you see anything that says promise, that's usually considered fidelity. Veracity, I don't think it's in the book, but it is about the duty to tell the truth, especially if you're on the court side and if you're on having that position. Confidentiality, privileged information, we talked about that quite a bit. So when you don't have your values clear, you have to think about them because you may be going against what you think is the correct thing to do. And you have choices not to work in hospitals if they do things that you're not comfortable with. I.e., let's just talk about, I had student nurse that had worked for Planned Parenthood, and you know they're on a hot plate for some unethical stuff. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But if it's something where you know that kind of stuff is going on, you have a choice not to work there. You have a choice not to do, unethical things that you've been brought up to believe so. If you do work in a place that has some other things going on that you may not ethically agree with, you should work there. But you should be doing standards of care, practicing as expected. So that's why I always want to make sure that you interview where you go to work. You're going to be probably closer to that than you have been for a while. I'm always very concerned about choosing a place that I will work, and the rationality, the values of that institution, not just mine. You know? Work is work, but I don't think the title is attorney, or we're in a process of changing. So we did all this kind of stuff. Even knowing that it's happening, and I've had some situations with the students where something unethical has happened, and they journaled it, and, they made some very clear decisions as to what they did not do when they got out and graduated. It was very interesting. It was a big growth pattern for them because you do have choices. So, and if you're unsure about it, you've got your friends that are clinical with you to ask. So make sure you kind of figure out. I've had some very unethical things happen in one facility, and we went right to the top, and we got clarified, and the person that was doing the unethical stuff was eliminated, they were fired. And so, speak up, don't, if you see something that makes your gut uncomfortable, or, I mean, I've seen some people be very rough with their elevation. That is not acceptable. If you want to choose to work with that population, then, and please come to me first as the clinical instructor if you see anything like that, because together we'll, find out what we can do or not do. I had one student that was like, I mean, he's the student nurse and you're under the tutelage of whoever, okay? So think about that, and you learn from these kinds of things what not to be. And that's the thing, we're teaching you the correct way, the ethical way, whether it's from apothecary or this. We want you to have good habits. But when you see other people doing other things in front of them, they're cutting corners or even jeopardizing by not having sterile technique, you need to bring it to your instructor. And don't be calling them off on them. Oh my God, that style is so crazy. He had taught CNA, so I guess that was an expert advice person. But I couldn't believe that. I got hot water because it is my head. We didn't do anything. So this is kind of a repeat. But now they are. So what governs your practice? The State Nurse Practice Act, legal guidelines for your scope of practice, hospital policy, defines what you can do at that facility. Then it goes down the hierarchy to the unit. Okay, so we talked about this. So, what do you have to do to break the law as a nurse? We kind of saw that in the on the other page, but did anybody else give me any other examples of breaking the criminal? Yeah.
To implement a drug in a different or the wrong route? Would that consider dangerous?
If it was intentional, we had that happen. We had that actually happen in the hospital I used to work at. Patients
What was the question?
Yeah, go ahead.
What was the question? What happened?
Oh, repeat your.
Oh, the answer. Okay. To implement the drug in the wrong route.
Oh. Well, I was going to say, these are advanced directives. You want to see them in not directive. But it's pretty, you can do them online. It tells you exactly, breaks it down. Because you may be in a situation where, as a nurse, you're explaining that. It's nice to know. I would call the social worker if I was, because I'm not always privy to, but this is something you need to know when you're taking care of somebody. Do they have an advance directive? And if so, what are their wishes? Will they have that purple wristband that says it's a DNR or not? So,
How could that? It's a good question. So
yeah, so my answer was it intentional? And then I was going to tell you a story about two nurses in the ICU at a hospital where I used to work, decided to give more pain medicine than they needed, and the guy stopped breathing. And it was found out, and those nurses were terminated because that was not his wishes. He was a dying patient of cancer. But I don't know anybody in this room that would decide that. It's not my decision. I even have a hard time thinking about going to court.
I mean, yeah.
So she decided, the nurses decided.
Two of them. I don't know if it was out of love or stupidity, but who does that? And you know, there was some guy that was.
Two nurses here got medicine and what do you prescribe?
He would do breathing treatments and decided that this one didn't need it, and oh my God, he was called the angel of death. You guys missed all that?
When?
Oh, God. Should I have that kid? No, I don't really remember. It was, while I was practicing, so.
It's really hard to believe that's true.
Was it on the news and everything? Or like, was it? Oh.
In fact, when we get a little further along, especially the first semester, we are meetings to see what people are. They publicly let you know who's made mistakes here and there, just like physicians too. Sometimes your state boards, whether it be in medicine or in nursing, you go to these meetings and they actually use the patient's, the student's name, or the person's name, their classification, and what they're being charged of. It's kind of scary. Yes. I've done anything that I could be a criminal. So taking somebody's drugs, that kind of stuff like we'll talk about. You're breaking the law. Okay.
So, do you have a question? Maybe technical. Just what you said about you going on in your hospital. What if that patient himself ask more medication because he's suffering and it's easing
We won't know that.
Are you allowed to give him or no? Because
You didn't have an order for it.
so you let him suffer and yelling?
Well, you were having a moral, ethical problem.
Because you know they're gonna die.
Why do you do that?
Because
Not
they
in
are terminal.
someone's home, not in the hospital.
Yeah,
I'm sure that might go on.
yeah, I know. So I'm just asking. So
But you
that
gotta-
yelling and inflation. Because you know
Well,
they're gonna die
there's-
2 weeks from now.
You gotta do what you feel is right, you gotta be ethical, you can't be making decisions for people. And that's why it's really important.
I'm
Yeah,
scared.
doctor,
I'm scared
it's
to
not
get
a
hurt.
I am
It's a lot of care.
But now I'm like, I don't want to do that.
All right, so all of us have had misdemeanors, right? No. Never
Oh,
parked
yeah.
a ticket.
I just had one. It wasn't my fault.
We had somebody down in the nursing school that had a misdemeanor on their record for fishing without a license. I said, that's okay. So it's a lesser offense.
Fish.
Nobody maybe got hurt,
It's on the record. Huh?
See, you start messing up with the records and changing things, that could be considered fraud. Did you know that? What? Felony, woo! I'm sorry. They will not let you go to, I mean, we can let you go to nursing school, but we can't, you won't be able to get a license. So what good is that? So felonies, these are the kinds of things that we try to stay away from. Like here, negligence, homicide, working while under the influence of drugs or what have you, causing a patient's death. That's pretty scary. So I give you examples. Think about what's important. So you have a responsibility as a nurse and a responsibility to do the right thing and not make decisions for them. You can teach them properly and tell them the different options, but if you're not comfortable with it, you're not talking about that at all. Okay. I like the social workers to do that a lot. And I've been in on a lot of consent conferences, and it's very, very long and intense if you're doing it correctly. So I'm not going to ask you any of these kind of, like, what is important in all of this thing? I just want to make sure you understand the scope of practice that you can get touched with these kinds of problems. And this is where malpractice comes in. Yeah, and you know what? People will be okay with an honest mistake if it's proven that way. But I sure as heck wouldn't want to be the one that has to live in a little 10-year-old, I got 10 times the amount of one drug and died, and I was the nurse that gave it. And the pharmacist was the one who prescribed it, and I gotta look at those parents and say, oops, you know, our jobs are life and death. And that's why I'm very serious about it. So like, if you're gonna get sued because you didn't do something right, what do you have, what are the components of a malpractice? You have to have a duty. That means that you've been involved, that you have a professional relationship. You cannot get in trouble for giving advice to the neighbor because you don't have a duty to them. Okay? I don't take those calls anymore from our morning class, okay? You know, they think you're an RN and you know everything. You will be the experts in your family from here on now, and that's great. Don't be on the corner giving out free advice. If there's a duty brought in, you're going to eat it if it wasn't good advice. So you have to have a duty. You have to meet that standard of care, or you didn't meet that standard of care. What would another prudent, what is prudent? That's not being a prude. It means a good decision and appropriate. Good one. Where'd that one come from? Thank you. Love it. It's the word I was looking for, but went away. Okay, and similar circumstances. So if you take an RN here and an RN then, and she did it this way, this one had an okay outcome, and this one had a terrible outcome, you know, then there's discussion. A breach of the duty. So you did something that wasn't cool. Okay, now, there has to be an injury. There has to be something that bad that happens. And that whatever caused that is basically drawn back to the duty of the nurse. Does that make sense? Are you following it? Very important. One year we had a lot of time when we did a court of law and we had some cases and it was fun. Again, fall is hill. We just barely get here. We really go through a lot of material. So fast and furious is what goes on. So here in California, we have that element of discovery. So I know of a couple of cases where, you know, it's 3 years after the injury, they can't sue. But if the discovery of that extra equipment in their abdomen was just recently, then again, the time clock starts over again at 3 years. If they're going to pursue that. So discovery means you figured out there's something wrong and some kind of malpractice needs to be implemented because there's, you have injury. But if it's been 3 years and you've been living with that, you know, alligator stuck in your abdomen, you know, you might have a difficult time getting a lot of money because if they're not symptomatic and don't have injury, again, I've seen that work that way. So remember, it's the date of the negligent act. And this is also a little bit about kids, but you know, Okay, so here's a little scenario. Somebody want to read it out loud?
I'll read it. A 40-year-old male patient is visited by a home health nurse at 10 a.m. the day after he is discharged from the ambulatory surgery center following a laparoscopic cholecystectomy. The nurse notes signs of infection at the incision site and an elevated temperature. She leaves a message with the attending physician's answering service requesting the doctor return to the call, but does not document this.
Well, I haven't got to slide 2, so that's part of your legal practice. So the physician never calls back and the nurse forgets to follow up. That's the biggest complaint, not following up on problems. At 4 p.m. that day, patient suffers a massive cardiac arrest and dies. Autopsy reports myocardial infarction as the cause of death. The family sues the nurse and the home health agency for malpractice. What's the ruling?
Negligence.
Negligence.
Guilty! Yes. So, make sure you follow up. That is the number one thing. Not following up on a problem that you have identified and or not documenting correctly, or, and that's the thing you've got to learn as you become a new practitioner. You start with the patient and you, then you go to the charge nurse, then the team, then the doctor. I mean, you're talking about it, you're documenting it, and something has to be done if it's a problem with writing down. You can, and if that doctor's not calling me back, then I'm gonna call, the chief of medicine. You've got to cover what you think is going on, or the surgical residency, that you're teaching on this have a lot more flexibility than others. So, anyway, here's some more definitions. So that's the difference. So we've got assault is attempting, I'm gonna give you a shot, without consent, but the battery is when you actually hit them. Pow, pow. And believe you me, that stuff is very common.
That's crazy.
So, and restraints we'll go through quite a bit more when we get into skills with practicing on and off, broad. A lot of people out there, doctors and nurses, so be careful. Slander, that happens a lot. It's spoken, legal, rumor. But libel is when you put it into words and tells us. All right, we are late. You should realize this. I forgot this is Thursday. So, let me just see. Negligent is when something happens and it really wasn't intended. While now, the duty was there and malpractice